From the Legacy Sports Network, this is the Interscholastic Hockey League Game of the Week. Tonight it is a South Division matchup between the champions of the South Division, the Cinco Ranch Cougars, and the second place Pearland Friendswood Flyers. Good evening and welcome to our final ISHL Game of the Week broadcast for 2017. I'm Michael Silvers. Pleased to be joined as always by David Feliciano. Week 19 across the ISHL brings us back to the Sugar Land Ice and Sports Center for the third and final meeting of the regular season between the first place Cinco Ranch Cougars and the second place PFC Flyers. The Cougars have sewn up another South Division championship as they are 8 points clear of PFC with a game in hand, and a solid performance a week ago against Seven Lakes, where after giving up the first goal of the game, the Cougars rattled off 6 unanswered to win 6-1, and Andrew Fernandez scores the hat trick to lead the way.
And we've seen Fernandez over the year and part of a really good top four for Cinco Ranch. And we've been lucky to see them a number of times. And this top four is among the best go-to guys and scorers in the entire ISHL. And it's been a pleasure watching the Fernandez brothers grow up and play and leading the pack as always in the South.
Also coming in off a win over Seven Lakes are the PFC Flyers, who are still looking for their first win against Cinco Ranch this season. In the two previous meetings, the Flyers have been outscored 7-4 and 8-1, and their two top scorers, Bryce Henkels and Ryan Hopkins, combined were limited to 1 point in the first game, but combined for 4 goals in the second game. What happens for them here in the third game will be the question.
You know, the Triple H's. I mean, I saw last week, just standing on the sidelines, the Elder Hopkins play, the Ryan Hopkins, what a player. I mean, just big and fast and a playmaker, and just control the action inside the offensive zone. So their top three is going to have to go against the top four of Cinco Ranch. So I think in terms of straight-up talent at the top of the lineup, it's going to be a very even game.
Coming up next, we will continue to count down to the opening face-off of this South Division matchup between Cinco Ranch and Pearland Friendswood. We will have the scratches for tonight's game, our goaltending matchup, and the keys to the game in just a moment. So stay tuned. More to come from the Sugar Land Ice and Sports Center here on the Legacy Sports Network.
First Community Credit Union reminds you to think first. Think first for all your personal and business needs. With services from savings to checking to loans, we're here for you. If you need a house, car, construction loan, or just need some extra cash, well, there's a loan for that. Come see us at one of our 14 convenient locations in the greater Houston area, or log on to fccu.org. First Community Credit Union, making a first-rate financial difference in our members' lives. Now, if we could only help our team win the game, right? First Community is open to residents and businesses of Harris and Fort Bend counties and Tomball, an equal housing lender backed by NCUA.
Finding qualified candidates to staff your organization is a difficult assignment in today's job market. If this is a challenge for you, we encourage you to call Metter Staffing Services. They have been assisting Houston area employers for over 45 years in locating all types of personnel, ranging from entry-level administrative candidates to CEOs. They also have a temporary help and contract staffing division that can supply your company with clerical, light industrial temps, engineers, accountant, programmers, and virtually every other job category to meet your employment needs. Join the Metter Staffing conversation online on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, and the Metter blog. Or call 713-941-0616 today. Metter Staffing. Our talent is finding yours.
The Walk-Up Company has a combination that few fabricators can match. Extensive fabrication experience, a seasoned workforce, high-tech equipment, and financial stability. This provides customers with the knowledge that their fabrication jobs will be done right and completed on time. Their commitment to quality and customer satisfaction has made the Walk-Up Company one of the premier metal fabricators in the southwestern United States. So remember, when you need metal fabrication done right and on time, use the Walk-Up Company. The Walk-Up Company Metal Fabricators proudly supports local sports.
Welcome back to the Sugar Land Ice and Sports Center. Michael Silvers and David Feliciano here with you. Teams warming up on the ice, getting ready for this South Division matchup, PFC and Cinco Ranch. Scratches for tonight's game. Cinco Ranch head coach Bill Miller scratches Noah Hopp and Xander Ayer. And for John Henkels, the bench boss of the Pearland Friendswood Flyers, he scratches from his lineup Massimo Coletta and Reese Allen. He inserts Jake Henkels. One of the few times this season he's been out with an injury that has taken him out of most of the games this season. Henkels will be skating in his 4th game. The elder Henkels, Bryce Henkels, 5-5-10 in his last 5 games. He leads the team in goals with 25. Here's your starting lineups. They are brought to you by Metter Staffing Services. We know the people that know the people you need to know, and our talent is finding yours. For Cinco Ranch, Hunter Miller up front with Andrew Fernandez and Zach Ferry. On the blue line, Brendan Glover and Justin Reevy. For Pearland Friendswood, Bryce Henkels up front with Ryan Hopkins and Lucas Silva. Timothy Kozakov and Brian Hilton will patrol the blue line. And our goaltending matchup, we'll see the 7th best goalie in the league, Randy Miller, junior for Cinco Ranch, opposite the 11th ranked goaltender, and that's by goals against average, Matthew Moore, a senior for PFC.
Well, these teams are so top-heavy in the talent. The keys to wins tonight, if they can get some help in the second and third lines, and then if you can control the big 3 and 4 for either squad, you'll have a chance. I think the key is only 6 power play goals for Cinco Ranch on the season. We've talked about that all year. Very unusual. I'd like to see them get one tonight. Could help them in a win. And I think more for PFC's got to hold Cinco 3 goals and less.
Moore's goals against average this season, 3.48, and this will be his 16th game. Randy Miller has a goals against average of 2.82, and this will be his 16th game of the season. PFC in their orange tops, trimmed in white and black bottoms.
It's good to see PFC. The last few seasons been kind of rebuilding, but at 500 this year, and they are 8 points behind Cinco, so I don't believe they'll catch them. They won't. But in good shape for second place.
Cinco Ranch in white, trimmed in maroon. Moore will occupy the net to our left, Miller to our right. Dave's keys to the game brought to you by First Community Credit Union. Think first. Go ahead.
As I mentioned before, again, top-heavy lineups. Moore has to have a big night, 3 goals or less. And power play goal be kind of interesting to see for Cinco. These teams are looking ahead. We got playoffs. We won't be broadcasting, but we got playoffs coming up, and then the championship in a couple 3 weeks, I believe, up at Willowbrook.
The officials for tonight's game, the referee is Andrew McCrae, working the lines, George Lahaki and Zach Clark. Cinco Ranch leads the season series 2-0, 15-5 combined goals scored.
And we heard this week that they did a kind of a redo, a shaving of the ice, and took a lot off the top. Looks good.
Bryce Henkels skates into the face-off circle at center. He'll take the face-off against Hunter Miller. And this game is underway, and a win for Henkels. Kozakov at right defense plays it off the boards. But a turnover, and in comes Cinco Ranch Zach Ferry. Nickname is Slinky. More on that in a little bit. Here's a backhander by Fernandez in the slot, sticked aside by Moore. Collected by Miller in the corner, but shuttled out of the zone by Kozakov. And racing for it is Ryan Hopkins, left wing side, skates in, drops it back. Henkels with a wrist shot, he scores! Bryce Henkels gets PFC on the board early at 23 seconds of tonight's game, and it's 1-0 Flyers.
Well, Hopkins made the play. Got the loose puck and took it over the blue line, and it had a nice little help in the seam there. Right in the slot was Henkels and made the pass. So nice assist by Hopkins, and you said it, Mike, 1 shot, 1 goal.
Henkels now 3 goals against Cinco Ranch this season. Had a pair the last time these two teams played back in December. Now he skates in again, and this time on a breakaway he spins it just wide, but then a rebound, and they score again, and this time it's Ryan Hopkins. 2-0 PFC inside the first 40 seconds of tonight's game.
Well, when your first line of the night, not even a line change till just right now, your first line gets 2 goals on 2 shots. Way to start for PFC, and a little surprise early here.
That's Ryan Hopkins' 3rd goal against Cinco Ranch this season, his 19th of the season. Jacob Sorrell misses on his pass attempt as he just gained the Cinco Ranch zone. PFC are able to fly back in on the dump in, now to the near boards. Danielle Eldridge out for a shift here for the Cinco Ranch Cougars. She helps exit the zone. But again, the Flyers in possession. They turn it over at center, and it's flopped back into the Flyers zone for one of the rare times so far in the early going. as Ethan Can pitches it back in on the right wing side into the Cougars zone. Stopped by Matthew Moses. He recoils back behind his netminder, feeds it up the left wing for Danielle Eldridge. Her pass to center is intercepted by Lucas Hopkins, number 19 for PFC. Into the corner, Reevy is there defensively for Cinco Ranch as they escape from right to left. He's in his own zone, backhands it, but he does not clear the zone. Eventually, it comes out to center ice, where Jacob Sorrell will ladle it back to Darby Easterday, who is headed to Colorado College after her high school playing days are complete.
Good hockey school.
And a dump in right on goal from Jacob Sorrell, caught by Randy Miller with 1:47 gone here in the first period and a 2-0 Flyers lead.
One way to surprise a favored team, get up early. And that happens so quickly. We're only on our third line change. And that first one's getting a well-deserved rest. They'll be back soon.
Henkels loses the face-off to Hunter Miller. But PFC control. Henkels drops it back. Brian Hilton, sophomore on defense, spins it in down low. Shuttle back to the half wall for Henkels. And that's Bryce Henkels. He backhands it in deep behind the net. Matthew Moses there first. Almost had his pocket picked from behind. Plays it up front, goes all the way down. And even though Andrew Fernandez is in behind the defense, the play is whistled for an icing. Here's a Pearland Friendswood team who won their first game of the season in their fourth game against Seven Lakes, currently on a 3-game winning streak with victories over Sugar Land, CRPE, and Brazos Valley. And they've had 2 stretches where they've gone winless in 3 games this season.
Streaky team, but they're hot lately.
In the attacking zone, Bryce Henkels, left wing side in front of the Cinco Ranch bench. Drops it into no man's land. He was hoping for his left defenseman to be there on the play, and that was Brian Hilton. Instead, it's a takeaway for Cinco Ranch. Another turnover, and in skates Andrew Fernandez, shoots from distance on a wrist shot, and that was gloved by Matthew Moore, gave him a rebound, and then a return shot from from Hunter Miller, stopped by Matthew Moore. Cinco Ranch won 4 of their first 5 games, had a 7-game winning streak snapped by Fair Creek a couple of weeks ago. We were here for that one. And they come in having won 2 straight. 6-1 win in their last time out, a victory over the Spartans of Seven Lakes.
Now the South want to win the title. They're due.
Hunter Miller will take the face-off. Bryce Henkels wins it, and PFC clear the zone. Left wing side, Ryan Hopkins will barrel in to the offensive zone. Into the corner, skates in behind the net, forced wide by Brendan Glover. Now up top, Lucas Hopkins with a slap shot and a right pad save made by Randy Miller. Bryce Henkels quick to the puck to get the rebound. Spins it below the net on the cycle play to Ryan Hopkins, and he will shoot from a tough angle. Then a rebound comes to Bryce Henkels, but it forced him in behind the icing line. Now it's Reevy collecting a loose puck, but then he flops down as he couldn't keep his balance. Cinco Ranch come charging in right to left with Hunter Miller on his forehand. Skates by Ryan Hopkins in deep below the goal line, and he is hit from behind, and he loses, the young man who delivered that hit, Lucas Hopkins. Lost his stick, came back and collected it, and here's Zach Ferry on a shot off the turnover inside the circles. A right pad save made by Moore. And quick back to the action, PFC cleared the zone, but only to the red line. Here's Andrew Fernandez retreating back into his own end. Left defense, Matthew Moses, with 9:15 remaining. Period number 1, still a 2-0 PFC lead, as Eldridge motors in across the line. Lost it between the circles, a loose puck will be gathered in by PFC and forced out to center ice, where Sorrell will gain the offensive zone on the right wing side. Skates by Moses in on a sharp angle at point blank range. His shot up high hit the left shoulder of Randy Miller. PFC attacking here with pressure in the offensive zone, and we have got a whistle and a player down in the corner. We got interference called, and we'll see who it's on.
Looks like it's on Ferry. Yeah, he's been hitting them hard. He's one of the more aggressive players out there tonight. Our first penalty.
So I was mentioning, as we have played 4:09.
8 shots already, Mike, in 4 minutes.
Mentioning Zach Ferry, they call him Slinky. And the reason why is because with this traveling team, they were out of town, and between games or between days, they went to an amusement park. They won a large Slinky. And boys being boys, decided to get it stuck in the elevator. And almost broke the elevator. And since that time, they have said Zach Ferry is, his nickname is Slinky. Bryce Henkels in his own end. Outlets on a cross rink-wide pass to Ryan Hopkins, who motors in across the blue line. Stops just outside the left wing circle below the hash marks. A backhand centering pass went behind the intended target, but a shot comes over to the right wing side. They score. That is Jacob Sorrell. 3-0 PFC.
And Sorrell didn't do anything except stay with the play. He was perched on the right face-off circle, just minding his own business, and got a loose puck. When you crash in on the net, just hang around. And Sorrell, one of the bigger guys out there, and had a wide-open look.
Power play goal. That power play brought to you by Mr. Electric. They have the power to make things better, and it's at 4:40 the time of the goal. And how about this? 3-0 as Ferry tees up a shot. Shoots it over the crossbar off the high glass.
Yeah, tough start here.
This is exactly what PFC wanted. They had improved in their 2 games as PFC iced the puck.
Miller had a tough start, I think, last game we did, and then he had a better period, the final period. So, nightmare thus far for Miller. 3 goals on 5 shots.
And going back to this series in the previous 2 games, the first game was on October the 14th. Cinco Ranch won that 8-1, and then they won 7-4 on December 2nd. So mightily improving in a span of about a month and a half for PFC in terms of their margin of defeat. Now they have a 3-0 lead here with 7:50 to go, first period. Here's Reeve, right point, shoots. That one blocked. It falls down right at the top of the crease. PFC gained control, skate left to right out of the zone. Ryan Hopkins, right wing side, watched by Mason Carroll. Tried to split the D. Matthew Moses there as well to provide help and support for Carroll. Pass comes out, looking to go up top to the center point for Jake Henkels, but instead, or excuse me, that was Lucas Hopkins. Instead, it came out to center ice. Back into the PFC zone. Eldridge comes in on the half boards. Riggle lost the handle. Tried to get pitched off the glass, but keeping it alive, Reeve floats it over to the half boards on the left wing side. And PFC cleared the zone. Hard first touch by Ryan Hopkins, and sweeping it out of danger was the goaltender, Randy Miller. Out at center ice. Now it's Ferry. Ferry crosses the blue line. Tees up a shot, shoots, and a save made by Matthew Moore with his left pad. The outlet to Jacob Sorrell. Sticking at him is Brendan Glover. A touch by Reeve to the blue line for Ferry. Swiped away from him by Ryan Hopkins. Keeping it alive in the attacking zone, Andrew Fernandez. Chopped back out by PFC. Henkels will deliver it in to the Cinco Ranch zone with 6:35 to play in the first period. 3-0 Flyers.
And a loose stick at the far end.
Hunter Miller lost control. Comes out to Henkels, top of the circle, skates in the slot. Now to Sorrell. Sorrell tries a wraparound bid. Oh, and it just hit the side of the net. Randy Miller sprawling from one post to the other to try to make a save, but Sorrell didn't cash in on a wide open net. Back in the PFC zone, Bryce Henkels with a lead pass that gets by Sorrell. Nobody touches it. Icing is called on the Flyers. With 6:06 left in period number 1, they have a 3-0 lead.
Mike, you're going to be doing a lot of talking tonight. This is fast break action back and forth. This is going to be entertaining. I mean, there's no rest in these teams. The offense, as soon as they can get control of the puck at their own blue line, they're over their opposition blue line. We got some fast skaters tonight, and already 11 shots. We're only halfway through this period.
Top line on the ice for both teams. Andrew Fernandez operating at right wing, had a hat trick in that 6-1 victory over Seven Lakes. He has it at the blue line, loses it as he tried to pass it to Hunter Miller. A battle for it on the far boards. Back to Eldridge. She'll extend it out all the way down. Icing she'll be called on the Cougars. Instead, they wave it off.
Interesting.
Kozakov behind the net. Got by the forechecking Andrew Fernandez. Skates up the left wing board. Gets shoulder. Oh, and a tough hit delivered by Danielle Eldridge. Here's Henkels with a slap shot wide as the puck came to him off a carom from the half boards. Here's Lucas Hopkins. Now to Hilton. Henkels. To center and across the blue line skates Ryan Hopkins. In on Miller, backhander, he scores! Ryan Hopkins has now given PFC a surprising 4-0 lead here inside the first 8 minutes of tonight's game.
I tell you this, he could have had a couple more goals this period. He had a breakaway a few minutes ago that he just mishandled. That was going to be a probable goal. And PFC, after the best start they could possibly imagine tonight, 6 shots, 4 goals.
Randy Miller still operating between the pipes for Bill Miller. 4-0 PFC. Henkels and Hopkins. Hopkins second in the league in scoring. Had the top spot last week. Play is offside into the PFC zone, but Sam Robinson of Fair Creek overtook Ryan Hopkins last week. 25 goals, 20 assists, 45 points.
Hopkins he's one of the elite players in this league.
Hopkins had a goal and 2 assists. PFC's last game against Seven Lakes. His little brother Lucas scored a hat trick in the game. They play in the Flyers zone. PFC can't clear it. Moses holds in left point. Sends towards the slot. And Lucas Hopkins careens it back towards the blue line, but not out of the zone. Reeve shuttles it in deep for Ferry in the right wing corner on his backhand below the goal line. Good active stick by Lucas Hopkins to take it away from Zach Ferry. And in retaliation, Ferry draws a penalty, and that'll be his second of the period.
And tell you that the younger Henkels and Ferry been going at it. Henkels pinned Ferry. Ferry got knocked over, and Ferry just said, to heck with it. He tripped him right back. So 2 2-minute penalties on Ferry already. And this is a good opportunity here for PFC to get up even bigger.
PFC is tops in the league in the amount of penalties they've taken. They've taken the league's least amount of penalties, while Cinco Ranch about middle of the pack with 124 penalty minutes combined coming in. Lucas Hopkins looking to quarterback things. He'll shoot in, but only to the blue line as Reeve blocked it. Now Andrew Fernandez will skate in. He's got a chance for a shorty. Fernandez shoots in a right pad save made by Matthew Moore. Opportunity to score Cinco Ranch's 7th shorthanded goal, but Matthew Moore equal to the task, and now burrowing in is Ryan Hopkins. Hopkins shoots, and that one blocked, and on the rebound from that, a shot stopped by Randy Miller on the freshman Lucas Silva, who's moved up to the first line for this game due to an injury to Reese Allen, or Massimo Coletta, excuse me.
And best save of the night for Miller. He needed that one.
1:25 left to go on this Mr. Electric power play. Cinco Ranch can't clear the zone. Here's Jacob Sorrell, top of the right wing circle. Rebound! Oh, just chopped over the crossbar. Off the stick of Lucas Silva. Now Ryan Hopkins finds Bryce Henkels in the right wing circle. Loses the puck, and Fernandez clears. Justin Reeve attacking the puck with Lucas Hopkins hot on his trail. Reeve behind the goal line on his backhand, forced into the corner by Lucas Hopkins. And now it is Sorrell who will flop it ahead for Silva. And Silva will skate and soccer it with his left skate. Tries to maintain control, then loses control. Fernandez can't clear, left wing circle. Henkels with a shot high and wide. 45 seconds to go on the Cinco kill. From the right point, Sorrell drops it into the left wing corner for Bryce Henkels, who will be watched by Brendan Glover. Henkels on his forehand, shoots, that hit the crossbar. Off the ricochet, Fernandez can't clear the zone. Henkels to Lucas Hopkins, has time, shoots, he scores! Woo! A power play goal. They are 2 for 2, and it's 5-0 here in the first period, PFC.
Cinco's like, can we just start over? Well, this is, I didn't see this coming. I don't think anybody did. 5-0. I tell you, Lucas Hopkins, only a sophomore, not a big guy, but man, he aggressive player. He's pinning Cinco Ranch players in the corner, being physical, and then on the other end, he gets a goal.
Cinco Ranch will ice the puck off the face-off with 2:52 to go. You know, in years past, especially last few years, usually only one team in the South Division winds up with a plus 500 record, normally Cinco Ranch. Right now, PFC 500 at 9-2. And the way things are going, we're going to have 2 teams above 500 after tonight's all said and done.
PFC's better than their record. I don't know how they're only 9-9. I mean, this team looks strong.
And this is a team that their head coach, John Henkels, said missing 2 key players in Reese Allen and Massimo Coletta. Soft shot well wide by Daniel Eldridge. Mason Carroll cycles it in down low. Here's Hilton. Sweeps it around the boards to the far side for Jake Henkels getting a shift. And welcome back, Jake Henkels, skating in his 4th game for his father, John. Now Zach Ferry off the takeaway. Loses it in the right wing circle, but it comes down low and in traffic. Daniel Eldridge shoots in, and on rebound, Ferry bangs it in. Cinco on the board. They trail by 4 as Zach Ferry scores with 2:17 to play in period number 1.
Hung around the net and got the rebound off the initial shot from Eldridge, and Ferry needed that one. A tough period for him, a couple penalties on him, and slam dunked that one in to get Cinco off the schneid. Already, Mike, 17 shots in this period.
Ferry continuing some good play. Had 2 goals last week against Seven Lakes. Ferry now with 18 goals on the season. Came in ranked 15th in the league in scoring. PFC with control. Then they lose it in the Cinco Ranch zone. Chop back out to center ice. And then burrowing back in, Lucas Hopkins. The loose puck. Played to the far boards in the defensive zone by Matthew Moses. Pass comes back to Henkels. Long wrist shot, he scores! I don't know if Randy Miller saw it, but Bryce Henkels has now scored his 2nd goal of the period. We may see a goaltender change. I'm not sure.
Well, poor Miller. I mean, he's a much better goalie than this, but this is an absolute assault by PFC. Bryce Henkels started the scoring, and that one was from far out, too. So the last 2 goals from PFC from defensemen, Mike.
So now 6-1 here inside the first period of play.
Jeez.
Randy Miller still stationed in the crease for Cinco Ranch as they will continue to play here in the center zone. Lucas Silva couldn't get it by Brendan Glover, but the puck will trickle in deep. Cinco Ranch loses control. Lucas Hopkins make that Ryan Hopkins. Lost control himself before Cinco Ranch cleared the zone. Now Lucas Silva motors back in. Stymied by Reeve. Behind the net is Ryan Hopkins looking for Bryce Henkels, hard off his stick. But it's Kozakov tried a shot. That was blocked by Fernandez. The shot got blocked by Reeve in the slot. And it'll be pitched out to center ice by Andrew Fernandez. PFC right back in control. As they burrow in from left to right. In for Ryan Hopkins. Drops it back. Henkels trying to get cute. And Cinco Ranch take possession. And Andrew Fernandez will string it back into the zone for Hunter Miller to shoot a wrist shot. That was blocked by Brian Hilton. Now Bryce Henkels charges in across the line, stops just inside of it, loses it on his centering pass, and Danielle Eldridge comes across the blue line. Her centering pass intercepted by Hilton with 38 seconds to go in the first period. Lucas Silva charges in, plays it off the boards, will get it himself before it eventually gets swept away from him by Daniel Eldridge. The clearing attempt intercepted. Sorrell left wing circle. Down low, they score. 7 goals scored here in the first period. And Ryan Hopkins has scored a hat trick here in the first period of play.
Yeah, in 1 period, that's all it took. So Ryan Hopkins of 3 goals. Bryce Henkels with 2. The younger Hopkins, Lucas, with a goal. Sorrell. It's clinic time, Mike. 7-1.
Who would have thought?
And they've got 7 goals on 11 shots.
And 2 more periods to play.
And that's efficiency.
Cinco Ranch keep it alive with Mason Carroll shooting it around the boards. Darby Easterday taken away from her by Cooper Riggle. He gets possession, left wing circle. Lucas Hopkins can't clear the zone. Held in, Mason Carroll, wrist shot blocked by Jake Henkels. Comes out to the neutral zone. It is shot back in on a delayed offside. The buzzer sounds. That completes the first period of play. And what a first 13 minutes for PFC. They lead at 7-1 on the ISHL Game of the Week.
Community Credit Union reminds you to think first. Think first for all your personal and business needs. With services from savings to checking to loans, we're here for you. If you need a house, car, construction loan, or just need some extra cash, well, there's a loan for that. Come see us at one of our 14 convenient locations in the greater Houston area, or log on to fccu.org. First Community Credit Union, making a first-rate financial difference in our members' lives. Now, if we could only help our team win the game, right? First Community is open to residents and businesses of Harris and Fort Bend counties and Tomball, an equal housing lender backed by NCUA.
We've got the power to make things right. Mr. Electric, show you the light.
Looking
Looking for electrical help you can count on? Switch to Mr. Electric. We have some of the best trained electricians in the business, and they're ready to help you with any project, big or small. Best of all, with Mr. Electric, our work is 100% guaranteed. That's why so many people trust Mr. Electric.
We've got the power to make things better. Mr. Electric.
At United Chiropractic, they believe there are many benefits from chiropractic care for your health. It can range from pain relief in your joints, back, or head to increased mobility, performance, balance, coordination, or energy. And when you come to United Chiropractic and Dr. Dino Demetrio, you can trust that they're committed to restoring you to good health. You don't have to live with less than the best health. But if you are, why not stop in and see them at United Chiropractic? They're in Pasadena at 1120 Pasadena Boulevard. Or call them for an appointment today at 713-472-1444. United Chiropractic, committed to your health.
Welcome back to the Sugarland Ice and Sports Center, ready for period number 2. The Flyers with a 7-1 lead over the Cougars.
And at the break, we heard the Cinco bench quite animated, and they know they're better than this. And good news is we got a lot of game left to play.
The voice we heard was that of Captain Justin Reevy, really tearing into his club. Hunter Miller, can they respond? Left wing circle, centering pass on the backhand. Fernandez shoots, and a save made by Moore. Didn't know where the puck was, and he gets a whistle from our referee, Andrew McCray.
Shots in that first period, 11 for PFC, as I said, scoring 7. Cinco with 8.
Clock's moving. I don't know if that's on purpose or not.
Nah, somebody missed something there.
I think PFC are the home team, maybe a little home cooking. Here's a takeaway. Skating in all alone on the breakaway is Silva shoots, and Randy Miller makes a glove save as Miller bails out Zach Ferry, who lost it at the blue line.
Yeah, sometimes that's what you need. A big save by your goaltender, and obviously the face-off in the zone, but get it back the other way.
I guess they are going with a running clock.
Huh. That's odd.
I mean, I guess if
strange. I mean, Cinco's, I don't think they're out of it.
I didn't think that I thought that only happened in the third period.
Yeah, I mean, Cinco's good enough to come back.
So dumping it in, Andrew Fernandez, first one to get there, takes a hard, stiff check from behind by Hilton. To the half boards, Eldridge ladled it back to Reevy. Bodies flying everywhere, and so is the puck. Controlled by Eldridge. Back to Fernandez. Long wrist shot. A shoulder save, and almost trickled in. Swiped away at the last minute, or basically the last millisecond by Matthew Moore. Hilton was there as well defensively. Out to center, Reevy drops it back behind the red line. Andrew Fernandez quick to collect with 1:45 gone by. In period number 2, a 7-1 PFC lead. In the corner, Eldridge. Hunter Miller skates in below the icing line. Backhand blind pass, no one home. Instead, it was all orange jerseys. The outlet pass comes to Bryce Henkels. He skates in on a low, shoots. That one wide, and it ricochets off the glass and into the screen as the clock continues to move. And I guess it has to move at this point. And then if Cinco scores, then they go back to like a stop clock.
Yeah, it must be a rule. You get to a certain advantage in one period. That's tough for Cinco. I mean, again, they're talented enough. They can put some goals up there. They really are pressing, though, Mike. They've given up 2 breakaways, and PFC has not cashed in.
Mason Carroll will take the faceoff just outside of his zone, and Sorrell just flings it forward instead of trying to win it back. Carroll off his skates, back out to center ice. Darby Easterday, right defense. Cross-ice pass got through Silva, spun back in by Can, and Ferrier will get it for Cinco Ranch. Around the boards, turned over, held in, right point Easterday. Tried to spin it down to the half boards, but it was blocked. And out comes Cinco Ranch left to right. Chopped away from Ferry by Easterday. And Lucas Silva on his backhand gains the zone left wing side. Hassled by Moses. Spins one. That is intercepted on his centering pass by Cooper Riggle. This is a Pearland Friendswood team who have outscored their opposition coming into this game in their last 5, 18-15. They've outscored Cinco Ranch 7-1. Over a third of the goals they've scored in their last 5 have been scored in this first period and change tonight. They battle inside the Cinco Ranch zone. Swept around, but The PFC zone swept around, kept alive by Moses. Back around the other way. Ferry won't be able to keep it alive as it comes out into the neutral zone. Plays it in on a delayed offside. Ends up having to just give way to Ryan Hopkins, who saucers one through Sorrell. That's going to be an onside play. Miller has trouble sweeping it around from behind his net, but Moses is back to put a check into Sorrell behind the goal line, and back comes Cinco Ranch from left to right. They turn it back over. And motoring back in, Bryce Henkels on a 2-on-1. He goes top shelf and scores. Bryce Henkels with a hat trick. And it is 8-1 Cinco Ranch trailing PFC here early in the second.
Nice recovery by PFC. The puck was getting loose, and Henkels corralled it, and they were able to get two guys in the offensive zone pretty quickly. And Henkels, a nice wrister, and a couple of hat tricks tonight. Ryan Hopkins, Bryce Henkels, and 8-1. Well, that running clock's still running, Mike, and that ain't going to stop anytime soon.
Andrew Fernandez skates in, drops it back. Hunter Miller, a backhander wide off the stick of Andrew Fernandez. Half board, spun back in deep by by Justin Reavy. And PFC will take control. Outlet pass goes through everybody. Icing is whistled, but no clock stopped. And this is the second time, Dave, that we've had what on paper was supposed to be a good game. When we saw Fair Creek and Cinco Ranch, battle of two first-place clubs, Fair Creek dominated. Here you got the top two teams in the South Division. We're thinking close, competitive game. It was 8-1, then 7-4, a little more competitive in the second game than that of the first. And here it is, 8-1 in the second period. The PFC looking for their first win against Cinco Ranch this season.
Yeah, the top players on PFC, they've brought it tonight.
Lucas Silva behind the line. Oh, a tough angle shot, and Miller shuts the door. Here's Ryan Hopkins trying to work on a fourth goal, but he lost it. And it's Hunter Miller who strides across the red line, comes in across the blue line, cuts to his left, and the puck poked away from him by Hilton. Up left wing boards, it is Hopkins. Hopkins starts motoring from right to left, and he gains the zone. Lugs it in deep. Centering pass went through. Bryce Henkels in the slot. Careens out to center ice. Right to fence. It's Kozakov. Rink wide. Past Silva. Off the boards. And it's Glover who will carry in behind the net. 8-1 PFC. As we have closed over 6 minutes, there's a backhander by Lucas Silva after another Cinco Ranch turnover. Randy Miller says no. Cycling down low, the intercept by Reavy, gets it behind the net, past Ryan Hopkins, who looks to be gingerly skating back towards the PFC bench. Reavy gains the line, drops it back for a one-time blast by Fernandez, and a right pad save made by Matthew Moore. Eldridge from the left corner to the right corner for Andrew Fernandez. He's dealt with there, but he continues to maintain possession of the puck as he skates by Hilton. Behind the goal line, now it's to the left wing circle. Spun back to the point for Reavy, in down low in the corner for Miller. He's watched by Kozakov. Back to the point for a shot that's blocked, but it comes to Fernandez, who rips one off the left shoulder of Matthew Moore. To the half boards, they battle along the near side with 7 minutes gone by. Here in period number 2, 8-1 Flyers. Here's Sorrell burrowing in across the blue line on his forehand. Drops for a centering pass. It comes across, and the shot did not come off the stick of Jake Henkels.
Beautiful pass, though, from Sorrell.
Got a good back check by the Cougars to disrupt that play. Now Can with a soft shot that never got through from the high slot. It'll be backhanded clear, out of the reach of Kozakov. Icing will be waved off, and he will collect the puck behind Matthew Moore. 5.5 to play, second period, 8-1 Flyers.
And they had to get a line change, calling for icing.
Icing is called as Kozakov sends it down the 200 feet. And the clock will continue to move outside 5 minutes to play in period 2, 8-1 Flyers.
No real change. The PFC still turning it on. 1 goal in this period. Shots for apiece in the period for the game. 12 shots for Cinco, 15 for PFC.
Cinco 3-1-1 in their last 5, 24-17. They've outscored their opposition. That's going to change a lot after tonight. They came in out shooting their opponents 136-122 in their last 5 games. Randy Miller was 14 of 15 against Seven Lakes last week, and he has just not had that percentage tonight. On the opportunity, and a great paddle by Randy Miller as he disrupted Bryce Henkels from scoring his 4th right point-blank range. Here come the Cougars left to right across the blue line. Riggle. He skates in, hassle from behind, but he does get a shot off A penalty is coming up,
Yep.
and it's going to be on PFC. They touch up, and referee Andrew McCray blows his whistle, and we are going to get a penalty on PFC.
The man got loose, and only chance was to grab hold.
Hooking called on Ryan Hopkins.
Well, time running a little short of the running clock for Cinco, but a chance for a power play. And, well, crazier things have happened. If they can get a couple of goals, get it to 8-3 or something by the end of this period, you never know.
A Mr. Electric power play for Cinco Ranch, a face-off win in the defensive zone by PFC, and they shoot it down ice. Moses, hassled by Lucas Silva on the shorthand. Here's Reevy, having trouble maintaining possession, flips it out to center ice, but it's turned over to Lucas Hopkins. He turned it over at the blue line. Skating ahead will be Miller, middle of the pond. Miller on his forehand, drops it back. Fernandez, top of the right wing circle, and that pass is picked off by Lucas Hopkins on his shorthand. He motors in across the line and takes a stiff check by Matthew Moses and falls down.
Good play by Moses.
Reevy, Moses, 50 seconds killed by PFC. From left to right, it is Miller, cutting wide to his left and gaining the offensive zone. Miller tries to find Reevy, disrupted by Lucas Hopkins and slapped down by PFC.
No shots on this power play for Cinco, struggling again.
2:50 and counting for period number 2. 50 seconds to go on the Cougar power play. They trail 8-1. Here's Hunter Miller, tees up a shot, sticked away by Matthew Moore. Kozakov sweeps it up the far boards. Easterday turned it over on her backhand as she tried to drop it back. Comes to Reevy, left point, skates in, shoots from distance. Moore rakes the save, rebound, and Eldridge couldn't stash it home. It is again cleared all the way down by PFC. And now it is Ferry. Behind the net, he'll begin again. To the red line for Fernandez along the right wing boards. He will motor in across the line. And on his left-hand forehand shot, his shot is punched away by Matthew Moore. Tried to slap a centering pass from behind the goal line. That is blocked and stymied by PFC. And Bryce Henkels on the penalty kill forces it out to center ice. 3, 2, and 1. PFC clear it. And that will not be icing. They'll allow that last clear. With 1:50 to go, period number 2, 8-1. Cinco Ranch trailing PFC. As the Flyers, and there's a turnover. Reevy pocket pick by Lucas Hopkins. But no harm, no foul. Cinco Ranch get it back. Right wing side, across the blue line, skates Andrew Fernandez. Andrew Fernandez, the numbers game catches up to him. First Sorrell, then Lucas Hopkins on the back check. Here's Ferry at right defense at center. Swung and missed on his first dump-in opportunity, but is able to get it in the second chance. PFC are able to force it right back into the Cinco Ranch zone as we come down to 1:15 to play second period, 8-1 Flyers. On the backhand saucer, finding Carroll Reevy. Carroll cuts wide to his left,
Wriggle.
flips it out of play, but also the play comes in offside.
It still's got a loose feel, this game. There's not a lot of tight action, just a lot of open ice skating back and forth, and Cinco's just a little sloppy on defense. And PFC still got a lot of good chances. This could be worse, Mike. This could be 12-1.
Randy Miller in this season series had stopped 34 of 39 shots, more 22 of 37. Not a very good percentage tonight for Randy Miller, a better percentage, although not tested as much, Matthew Moore. A good brand of defense on display by John Henkels' group tonight. 27 seconds and counting in the offensive zone. Ethan Can, a freshman, overskated the puck. Here's Ryan Hopkins, top of the circle. Finding Lucas Hopkins for a one-timer, blocked by Ferry. Comes back to Lucas, top of the left wing circle. Skates in the slot, shot just past the outstretched right pad of Randy Miller. 7 seconds to go. In deep, Ryan Hopkins. Centering pass got blocked in traffic. And Mason Carroll will at least backhand it to the blue line. And that will do it for period number 2. 8-1 PFC. This is the ISHL game of the week.
Has a combination that few fabricators can match. Extensive fabrication experience, a seasoned workforce, high-tech equipment, and financial stability. This provides customers with the knowledge that their fabrication jobs will be done right and completed on time. Their commitment to quality and customer satisfaction has made the Walkup Company one of the premier metal fabricators in the southwestern United States. So remember, when you need metal fabrication done right and on time, Use the Walkup Company. The Walkup Company Metal Fabricators proudly supports local sports.
Finding qualified candidates to staff your organization is a difficult assignment in today's job market. If this is a challenge for you, we encourage you to call Metter Staffing Services. They have been assisting Houston area employers for over 45 years in locating all types of personnel, ranging from entry-level administrative candidates to CEOs. They also have a temporary help and contract staffing division that can supply your company with clerical, light industrial temps, engineers, accountant, programmers, and virtually every other job category to meet your employment needs. Join the Metter Staffing conversation online on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, and the Metter blog, or call 713-941-0616 today. Metter Staffing. Our talent is finding yours.
First Community Credit Union reminds you to think first. Think first for all your personal and business needs. With services from savings to checking to loans, we're here for you. If you need a house, car, construction loan, or just need some extra cash, well, there's a loan for that. Come see us at one of our 14 convenient locations in the greater Houston area, or log on to fccu.org. First Community Credit Union, making a first-rate financial difference in our members' lives. Now, if we could only help our team win the game, right? First Community is open to residents and businesses of Harrison, Fort Bend counties, and Tomball, an equal housing lender backed by NCUA.
All right, here we go for the start of the third period of this Interscholastic Hockey League Game of the Week through 2 periods. Cinco Ranch trailing PFC 8-1, Dave.
Well, Cinco, they may have to channel Alice Cooper out there tonight. I mean, the way things are going. 50% hit rate for PFC, 16 shots and 8 goals. That's pretty darn good. 15 shots, only 1 for Cinco. And the running clock, that's a factor. There's just cuts your time in half, and certainly Cinco is a great team, but the time's going to run short this whole period.
More to our left, and Miller still in the game, stationed to our right. Cinco Ranch control the third period faceoff. Fernandez, right wing side, shoots high and wide. The ricochet will come to Reeve, left wing boards. Stashes it in deep for Hunter Miller. He loses it, and Reeve maintains possession in the offensive zone. It comes to Fernandez with a shot and a left kick save made by Moore. Return shot by Reeve, sailed wide. Here's Eldridge. Her centering pass careened off the skate of Silva, then an outlet to Bryce Henkels. He's got a breakaway. In on Miller. Henkels shoots, hit the side of the net. Then a centering pass, and got a cheer, maybe getting a piece of it. And hard to tell from this vantage point was Randy Miller, who shut off that near post. Glover trying to sweep it around the boards, got caught up the half boards now. It's going to be Danielle Eldridge taking control and outletting to Andrew Fernandez and across the blue line. Forehand, nice stick work as he stick handled, played the puck through Hilton's legs. But again, the defense of PFC strong, and they'll skate it out with Ryan Hopkins, and here's a 2-on-1 developing. Hopkins, the only one back is Zach Ferry. Eldridge hustles back to join Ferry as they'll play and battle with a 2-on-2 scrum in the left wing corner. A minute 15 into this third period, 8-1, and skating it out will be Hunter Miller. From right to left, he gains the line. Drops it back, Fernandez, tees up a shot, and stick save made by Moore. Backhand centering pass, nobody there for Cinco Ranch. The pass came from Hunter Miller. He collides with one of his teammates. The teammate falls down, and back comes PFC with a 3-on-1. Jacob Sorrell, wrist shot save, rebound, and Miller didn't have to make a second save as the rebound shot never got through. Left defense, it's Lucas Hopkins, and he will ice the puck. And the clock will continue to move, and the face-off will take place inside the final 11 minutes.
PFC is so good at getting a puck on defense and getting it out to Hopkins right at the blue line of the opposition. I mean, it's at the breakaways. I bet you half their attacks, Mike, tonight are breakaways. Just so effective.
Carroll and Sorrell, and a shot off the face-off from Carroll. Went off the catching glove and behind the net. Right down low, Carroll never got a shot off. He had a chance. Far boards Ferry, chopping at it. Now Sorrell will get it to the neutral zone. Ferry spins it back in before it is cleared again by PFC for another icing.
That's okay. With the running clock, icing doesn't hurt in a big lead. These young players from PFC, just the sophomores, physically they're not big, but they're aggressive and very good. So PFC's future looks really bright.
8 goals by PFC, 2 of which on the power play. They scored 2 power play goals against Seven Lakes on January 29th, their last game out. Had 1 shorty in the game, and once again, PFC don't have any trouble just icing the puck. And considering considering there is a
they just
running clock, I mean they'll and a 7-goal lead.
It's not very sporty, but it's okay. I mean, on paper it makes sense. They've already killed 2 minutes.
Face off to the left of Moore, won again by PFC. Lucas Hopkins this time couldn't clear the zone, but at the blue line a turnover. And then the outlet by Jake Henkels goes all the way down. They'll wave off icing. Reevy there, watched by Sorrell, turned over. Sorrell at the half boards. He loses it, and Cinco Ranch can't clear the zone. And it just does not seem that Cinco Ranch are all that engaged. And perhaps, giving up the early 2 goals and then things starting to snowball to 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, and
it's only 1-0 since the first period, which is weird.
And took a lot of starch out of them. Sorrell at center. Jake Henkels goes down, courtesy of Brendan Glover. Here comes Cinco Ranch from right to left. Cutting wide to the left is Cooper Riggle. Tries to split the D, can't get a shot off as he is stymied and canceled out by Lucas Hopkins. 8:45 to go, and Lucas Hopkins will clear the zone and clear it all the way down for icing. Now coming up next for Pearland Friendswood, they have a date on Sunday with Memorial West, nipping at their heels, just 3 points behind them. Memorial West will take on Seven Lakes next here at the Sugar Land Ice and Sports Center. Elsewhere tonight, Fair Creek at the Woodlands. Brazos Valley will take on Cy Woods. Cinco Ranch, they will get Cy Woods on the 12th. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. at Willowbrook. Bryce Henkels will skate it out of the zone. Left to right, motors across the blue line, shoots wide. He also goes down. Zach Ferry, after the shot, sends him down to the ice.
Henkels wants a penalty.
Ryan Hopkins swings it around the boards. Eldridge can't get there. Kozakov will spin it into the half boards. And that's all before Andrew Fernandez gets the outlet from center and just can't handle the puck. It's been that type of night for Cinco Ranch. Randy Miller stashes it to the left wing corner in the defensive zone. Moses there, beats Silva to the puck, and will retreat back behind Randy Miller. Ahead for Eldridge, past her, behind the red line. It goes to Kozakov at right defense for PFC, and he will flip it out of play.
Well, you can either ice it or put it in the stands. Well, that'll kill some time.
Clock continuing to move with his running clock, and a 7-goal lead for the Flyers. We've had a running clock since the start of the second period here at the Sugar Land Ice and Sports Center, and this is our final ISHL game of the week of the season.
Well, we didn't get a good one to finish, but it's we're still glad to be here.
Yeah, we'll be back next year for year number 10.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long. Of course, I think you came in at probably about year number 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Year number 4. Perhaps that first year that we did the final with the shootout between the Woodlands and Seven Lakes was year number 1 with you on board. Justin Reevy skates in. Sharp angle, wraps it around, but couldn't get a shot off. It fell off his stick. Silva can't clear the zone. Centering pass comes to Carroll with a tough angle shot. Giving up a rebound more. Patrick Miller getting a shift. We haven't seen him all night. He comes on here in the third period. Round the boards. Ferry drives it in deep from the point. The ricochet will be played by Miller. Shuttled it back for Ferry. Ferry tees up a shot. Glove save. Matthew Moore.
Hey, Moore, what a game for him tonight. Remember, his GAA is right around 4, and he's held them to 1. And one thing about Cinco, they've been down, but they're still shooting. I mean, Fernando's will fire from anywhere. Ferry, he wants another one. So a nice night for Miller.
Face-off will take place to the right. Matthew Moore. Clock rolling down to 5:45 left in this 8-1 Flyer game. Miller wins the face-off. Eldridge directs one towards the side of the net. Paddled away by Moore. Rebound comes to Hunter Miller. Try to center for Daniel Eldridge, but defensively, PFC are there. Hunter Miller. Stick handle. Shoots, soars. Hunter Miller cuts the lead to 6 with 5:24 to go and counting.
Well, it might be too little too late. I mean, if Cinco could have gotten some of these in the second period, Could have had something, but they're still firing away. And finally, Hunter Miller gets on the board.
Hunter Miller with his 19th goal of the season. Third goal against PFC this season. Zach Ferry actually leading the Cougars with 5 goals and 7 points against PFC this season. As Fernandez skates in, top of the left wing circle, fires a wrist shot that's smothered by Moore.
Cinco's going to outshoot PFC tonight. PFC's only got 18 shots.
Wouldn't be the first time.
PFC's like, all right, we got our shots, we got our 8-2 lead. Let's put this baby to bed.
Cinco Ranch outshot PFC 23-10 in the first meeting. PFC outshot Cinco Ranch 29-19 back in December.
Now, PFC doing a good job of taking advantage of the clock. I mean, they're killing a lot of time here and there. They're going to switch centers, too. Kills more time.
They're exactly right, Dave. They're just killing time. Ryan Hopkins, they get canceled out. Him and Miller. Puck is shuttled to the right wing corner for Fernandez to play behind the goal line. Finds Miller left wing side. In the corner, he's dealt with and hassled by Hilton. Able to hand it back to Fernandez. Skating, ladled it back. Reeve with a shot save. Miller make that more. As Reeve shot from the left point. And Moore just holds on to the puck a little bit longer than he probably normally would.
It's like a football player staying on the ground, extra 10 seconds here, 12 seconds here. Same concept.
The ISHL Game of the Week is a production of the Legacy Sports Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Legacy Sports Network is strictly prohibited. Center point, Ferry blasts shot blocked by Kozakov in the slot. Bryce Henkels backhands out to center ice, and it gets past Matthew Moses. Icing will be waved off. They determined that Moses could have made a play on that puck, but didn't. Moses ahead for Riggle, past him. Bryce Henkels will retreat, hand back to Kozakov, who delivers it right back to Henkels with 3 minutes to go, and let's just ice the puck. No, actually that's on target, and it forced Randy Miller to make a left pad save. Now it's Ryan Hopkins shooting, trying to go between the wickets, and Randy Miller closes the 5-hole. Riggle can't clear the zone. Henkels flops one in deep, falling down at center ice. Just losing his balance was Kozakov away from the play. Ahead now, right to left comes Ferry. Poked from him by Hilton. Carroll will shuttle it in deep. Behind the icing line for Riggle. He loses it to Hopkins, who will deliver a backhand pass out of the zone. Bryce Henkels, here comes a 2-on-3. Bryce Henkels working on 4 goals. He has a hat trick, as does Ryan Hopkins. 2:15 to go. It'll be flipped back out to center ice by Cinco Ranch onto the stick of Mason Carroll. Watched by Hilton. He drives into the right wing corner. Hilton there defensively takes the puck away, flips up the boards, and Ryan Hopkins will find Bryce Henkels on the outlet pass. Then ahead for Silva. He's cut off at the pass by Justin Reeve. Inside the final 2 minutes of tonight's game, it is an 8-2 PFC lead as Fernandez walks it across the line. Drops it back, got it back, takes it behind the goal line, and it's still a great individual effort by Fernandez. Cycles it to Hunter Miller, and back to Fernandez. Tees up his shot, could not be redirected by the right skater Daniel Eldridge. Slapping one from the right point. That one shot wide. Now it is Eldridge losing it to Sorrell. He clears it down for an icing as the clock will move inside the final 1:20.
Well, the flurry in this game was first 6 minutes. I think it was 6 goals in 6 minutes, something like that. And I didn't think it'd be over at that point, but essentially it was.
Shocking result. Not so much that PFC won, but it's going to be the way they won. And by the margin of victory. Eldridge sweeps one just to the side of the cage. Hunter Miller tries to send one all the way back. That came across the neutral zone. I think they're going to allow it, though, as Ferry shot well wide. In deep, it is Fernandez. Fernandez hassled, skates, tries a backhand centering pass. It was blocked by Lucas Hopkins, keeping it alive in the zone. Fernandez before it is cleared out. Slap back in, and they are going to say no icing on Cinco Ranch. Darby Easterday is going to be watched by Hunter Miller. To the far boards, intercepted by Fernandez. Down below the goal line, Hunter Miller. He is hassled and canceled out by Jake Henkels. Pitchfork back out to center ice. Waffle boarded right back in by Cinco Ranch with 12 seconds to go. Cleared to center ice for PFC, and then Ferry will slam it back in, and that's going to do it. What a game and what a win for the Pearland Friendswood Flyers.
Well, they came in and made a statement. It only took them half that first period. Real impressive win for a team that's on fire.
8-2 is the final score. First win of the season for PFC over Cinco Ranch. PFC now above 500 at 10-9-2. The loss drops Cinco Ranch to 13-5-2 as we close in on the end of the regular season. Back to wrap it up after these messages. This is the Legacy Sports Network's coverage of the Interscholastic Hockey League.
We've got the power to make things right. Mr. Electric, show you the light.
Looking for electrical help you can count on? Switch to Mr. Electric. We have some of the best trained electricians in the business, and they're ready to help you with any project, big or small. Best of all, with Mr. Electric, our work is 100% guaranteed. That's why so many people trust Mr. Electric.
We've got the power to make things better. Mr. Electric.
First Community Credit Union reminds you to think first. Think first for all your personal and business needs. With services from savings to checking to loans, we're here for you. If you need a house, car, construction loan, or just need some extra cash, well, there's a loan for that. Come see us at one of our 14 convenient locations in the greater Houston area, or log on to fccu.org. First Community Credit Union, making a first-rate financial difference in our members' lives. Now, if we could only help our team win the game, right? First Community is open to residents and businesses of Harrison, Fort Bend counties, and Tomball, an equal housing lender backed by NCUA.
Finding qualified candidates to staff your organization is a difficult assignment in today's job market. If this is a challenge for you, we encourage you to call Metter Staffing Services. They have been assisting Houston area employers for over 45 years in locating all types of personnel, ranging from entry-level administrative candidates to CEOs. They also have a temporary help and contract staffing division that can supply your company with clerical, light industrial temps, engineers, accountant, programmers, and virtually every other job category to meet your employment needs. Join the Metter Staffing conversation online on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, and the Metter blog, or call 713-941-0616 today. Metter Staffing. Our talent is finding yours.
Back for one final time here on the Legacy Sports Network in the ISHL Game of the Week. Michael Silvers and David Feliciano on hand for an 8-2 final. Surprising final score as the Pearland Friendswood Flyers get their first victory over Cinco Ranch. 8-2, the final score, paced by a couple of Hatties, Dave, Ryan Hopkins and Bryce Henkels.
And they got all that damage in the first period and a few minutes of the second period. And then it was pretty much even Steven the rest of the way out. So PFC came in, the top players got it done pretty fast. And I think Cinco was so shocked that they just couldn't do anything. And Miller had a tough first period and kind of put it together the remainder of the game. But PFC's way better 9-9. And they're hot, as we said, playing well. I would not want to play them in the playoffs.
Yes, they're certainly better now because they're 10-9-2.
Yeah, 10-9. Well, how this team, it's good. Again, we talked about this in the pregame. Last few seasons, kind of rebuilding. But, man, they got a strong squad now.
To our best stat-keeping ability, Dave especially. 21-19, though, Cinco Ranch with the shots. But, of course, you know, when you're up 7-1 after one period, you're just looking to get away with the win. And, you know, you have a running clock, and you're going to concede a little more shots. And, I mean, not many teams are going to come back from a 6-goal deficit.
Well, I think that was smart by PFC. Cinco's good enough. They can put some goals up there, make it interesting, and took advantage of that clock. Ice it, take your time, and get out of here with an 8-2 win.
And a lot of momentum now for John Henkels' team. Get a big win over the first-place team. You're locked in with a duel for second place in the South Division with Memorial West, and those two teams play each other on Sunday. And depending on Memorial West's outcome against Seven Lakes, if they win, they'll just be 3 points behind them again. Right now, they're currently 5 points behind with a game to play tonight.
Yeah, PFC in good shape for the playoffs, playing well. Boy, their breakaway is probably the best breakaway we've seen this year. And it's always two guys, and they don't get loose with one guy. I mean, it's effective and put together well. It's going to be dangerous.
All right, that's going to wrap it up, and another season in the books of the ISHL Game of the Week here on the Legacy Sports Network, and we certainly hope you enjoyed our coverage here in 2017. No playoff coverage and no coverage of the Justice Cup Final this season, but we'll be back in 2018 to bring you year number 10 of the ISHL Game of the Week here on the Legacy Sports Network. For my partner, as always, David Feliciano, and everybody involved, this is Michael Silver saying so long from the Sugar Land Ice and Sports Center. This has been a presentation of the Legacy Sports Network. And again, your final score, Pearland Friendswood 8, Cinco Ranch 2. Until 2018, so long, everybody.